Hi everyone, welcome to your daily reading. Today's reading is for Tuesday, October 8th, 2019. Of course, it's timeless. For today's reading, what Spirit is bringing through for us is this feeling of peace. So they woke me up, or I woke myself up, somebody woke me up, and as I sat down to do this reading, I just felt like they were saying that today is a day of peace and reconciliation. Now, what are we reconciling with? Does it mean that we're reconciling with another person? Because I know you guys see this Lover's card and this Devil card already. But what I'm feeling actually is, while that may be the case for some of us, and I'm seeing, when I say that, I'm seeing somebody who is a little bit older in years. It seems like a female. It seems like you will be reconciling with an old friend of yours, an old female friend of yours with whom you've had a falling out. I'm feeling you're in your late 50s, early to mid 60s. Okay, so yay. And there may be other people who are reconciling with friends as well. But more than anything, what I'm seeing is that Spirit is saying that it's time to reconcile with those old turbulent energies that have been plaguing us. For many of us, these turbulent energies have to do with a relationship, right? But for some of us, it could also mean missed opportunities, which may or may not be a relationship, but missed opportunities, lost things, lost articles, lost opportunities as well, I'm hearing. Work things, whatever this old energy is, it's still upon us and we're still within it. We're still wading, wading, wading in the pool of this energy that has, I guess, I don't know, fermented. I don't know. I don't want to say the word festered because that's not true, but it's just been there. So I want you to think for a moment, what am I still holding on to? What can I not shake? When I wake up and I go through my day, what is the one common denominator that follows me each day, even if I think about it and it flashes across my mind for like 10 seconds? What is it? What is that thing? I guarantee you that's it. For some of you, you may be feeling that it's not so much an old wound. It may be a fear or worry about a child, for example. They say that once you have a child, you commit to a lifetime of fear. I'm not sure, I don't have children, but I can imagine that that's how it feels, in the sense that you're always worried, like, are they doing okay? Where are they out there? Am I going to get a call? And yeah, I'm hearing Spirit say that's it. For some people or someone out there, whatever this energy is, it's something that follows you. It's with you. It's resident within your energy field. And it's resonant within your energy field. And what makes us concerned, Spirit is saying, is that when you are resonant with something, it means you're still resonating with something. And that means that harmonically you are creating conditions where things that resonate with that level can come in and find you, they say. Not find you in a sense like, I'm going to find you, but you're a mirror, and so you attract the things that are resonant within your field. And so today's I always want to say call. That is the word that Spirit uses through me, so I'm going to say it. Today's call, and I guess so, because they're calling you guys, they're calling upon us, we're connecting. Today's call is about calling into awareness those things, letting us become aware. Now, they're also saying that they want you to think about, what is it that you would like to say to those turbulent energies? Because if we could look at those turbulent energies, what they look like is like a blanket, so to speak, an energetic blanket that is like this large floating sheet, and it's made up of disparate parts, disparate ideas, feelings that they all just go together. And I'm hearing shame, guilt, mixed in with fortitude. But they're saying, what have you been fortuitous? No, not fortuitous. Anyway, what have you been? Why am I? Okay, look, it's early in the morning where I am. What is it that you've been making efforts towards? Like, you can be strong, and you could say that you are I'm being strong and I'm working towards something, but what are you working towards? Are you working towards shutting someone out? So in other words, are you working towards suppressing, repressing, denying, forgetting? So they want you to make efforts towards things that are fruitful for you and that are in the light, that are clean. And those are the heavy-hitting words that we aspire to. Forgiveness is one of those words. Kindness, compassion, right? Letting go, letting it go, letting them off the hook. Like letting them off the hook. How does that feel? It's not letting this situation off the hook, because for someone, I feel like it's an older male, maybe in his 50s, is a feeling of being betrayed by work, like a work opportunity, like I should have been retired, or I should have been the manager by now, or I should have, and there's this not being able to come to terms with that, and that is understandable, because I see a lot of hard work having been put out, but they're asking us to think, what are we working hard towards? And this, I want to say energetically, may be the moment where they pick us up and they say, stop. And they say, what is it that you are working towards? Stop and think. What is it that you would like to work towards? And what is your plan? So, for example, I'd like to get over my divorce, for example. But how are you doing that? Well, I'm doing that by keeping myself busy. I am getting into all sorts of things that please me. I'm this, I'm that. And that is great. Those are all good things. But remember that you also have to have a checks and balance system for yourself. What is it that I'm denying? What am I putting by the wayside? Am I denying that I just need a really good hug right now? Am I denying that I want to be kissed again and fondled and held and I want to feel sexy? You know what? I also hear that there's also denial in the sense that I'm hearing, I want to be friends with that person again. I'm hearing that. And for some of you who are saying, I want to be friends with that person again, I'm seeing that they want to be friends with you as well. Okay? There's somebody here missing you as well. So, what today's message is all about, guys, is it's about taking a moment to check in with ourselves. It's not about saying you've been doing everything wrong. It's about saying, you know what? I am on my journey. It's funny because I just almost said I am on my twin flame journey. Thank you, Spirit. So if you're wondering if that's you, then Spirit is coming through to say yes. There are people on this call right now who are on their twin flame journey. But this message is not just towards you. I'm hearing that you guys, yes, you have to realize I am on my journey, whatever that journey is. I'm on this journey, this crazy, freewheeling, willy-nilly, heartbreaking, fun, just whatever journey that we call life. And it's never going to be like this. It's never going to be about finding a middle point and sticking to it. It's going to be about this and this and this and this and this, because it's got to have its ups and downs. Otherwise, what are we doing here, right? So the first step is to recognize that life is cyclical. Everything exists in cycles. And so the beautiful thing about cycles is that when it's down, you know it's going to be up again. And when it's up, you know that at some point it's going to be lesson time again. We look at the downs as lesson times. And we have to also remember that part of that awareness of cycles means that any time we have a down, that there's a lesson to be learned. And that we will go back up again. Sometimes the very lesson is to dip into those emotions. Why? Because it's only in those emotions that you are prompted to take a certain course of action that leads to a deepening of the soul, a gathering of information, a greatening of consciousness. So how many times have you learned something that you would never have even had the idea to pursue had you not been feeling low about yourself, had you not been feeling disappointed, right? So much of what is birthed or given birth to on earth comes from a place of quote unquote darkness and depression. But the point is to raise ourselves back up. We have some of the best heart surgeons because people lost their mother or father at the age of 10 and it changed the trajectory of their lives. We have people being shown on TV and liberating millions of people around the world by their story of forgiveness, how they could forgive somebody who took someone or something from them, that we can only look on and be like, oh my God, I could never, right? So we always have to be acknowledging that life is cycles. And in those cycles, there is great learning, and there's always the promise of rebirth and renewal. But what I'm coming here today to tell you as well, through this, through these energies here, is that it's the fact that life is cyclical is also a reminder that because things go up and down, we constantly have to readjust and adjust and readjust and adjust and readjust ourselves. So when we go down, we start learning these lessons, of course we're going to pick ourselves up. And when we pick ourselves up, we learn important emotional tools, like I'm never going to allow myself to turn a blind eye. I'm never going to say yes when I really meant no, and whatever those are. But we know that as we put ourselves on those paths to take those corrective actions, and as we dig our heels deeply in to say, I'm never going to be vulnerable to this kind of activity again, remember that temperance comes in. You must always temper what it is that you do, because you have to remember that there's a time and place, and even those things and those feelings have a season of their own. So yes, sometimes the lesson is to be alone, because you can't trust the people around you. But if you keep that lesson for the rest of your life, it'll cut you off to the beauty that's placed in. Sometimes God just needs to put a patch to stop the bleeding. And those are the lessons that we learn. They're patches. But then after a while, you need to take the patch off and continue in another vein. So ask yourself, what are these turbulent energies that I'm still entertaining or that are still waiting at my feet? And take a look at the ones that you used as a way of protecting yourself, as a way of ensuring that you made it safely out of a stage that you were in your life before. So a lot of you on this call may have recently been becoming more aware of things in your life. So some of you may have had shocks to your system through the eyes, spiritual eyes as well. And what could those shocks be? It could be being exposed to new things, new things, new ways of being. It could also be seeing for the first time how others around you are being. It's like, as you're becoming aware, you start to look at your family members, you start to look at your exes, the people you're in connection with now, your friends, and you realize, oh my God, that person is truly living in limited behavior. And the fact that I can see that now means that I've made some kind of breakthrough in my own life. There's been some kind of breakthrough, and I can see from my vantage point what they're dealing with. Whereas at one point you may have been like, this person is mean to me, they're ignoring me, they don't value me, they're terrible people, they're bullies. Now you're looking at them and you're like, oh my God, how could I expect this person to be anything other than what they have been being? Like, I'm seeing them completely now for the first time, and I don't even know what to say. For some of them, I don't even feel safe being around, because I'm on my journey and I feel that at this time all I can do is disconnect and give them the compassion that they need. And for those, some of them are actually missing you because they feel that, and some of them are still so caught in it that they can't consciously feel that. But either way, and I'm hearing for some of you that you're looking at yourself with those eyes. You're looking at yourself, who you've been for so long. Even if you felt that you've been on the healthy path and the healing path and the Buddhic path, you're looking at yourself and you're realizing that, my God, I thought I had made it to somewhere, and now I see that I was only at another stage. And now I see that I'm going to a higher stage of thinking now. I'm expanding myself. And I can look back at myself. Even the person I was 2 months ago, I'm different. Okay? So either way, a lot of you have been in a place of revelation for quite some time now. For some of you, I'm hearing following the breakup. So following the breakup, whatever that is, be it person or a group of friends or whatnot, I feel like a lot of you have been in some kind of thought pattern of awareness. But I'm also seeing that Spirit is saying this is now a call for reconciliation for a lot of you. Now, whether it's reconciliation with a person or, it's going to be a reconciliation with those turbulent energies, coming to terms with it. Spirit is saying today that today is a day of peace and reconciling with those energies. Come in from the cold. They're saying that there's a reason why they've decided to pull the gathering card. Oops. Thank you, hands. My hands are making quite an impression today. Excuse me. All right. Let's read it. The gathering card says, "This life is like the fulcrum on a scale of balance. Your past and future lives determine the need for gathering strength in this life. There is a reason for all the pain. As you gather knowledge from the infinite sea of consciousness and life experience, you begin to evolve. You fill the gourd of your spirit with knowledge so that one day it can be emptied and you may begin to gather wisdom. Become one with all life and consider the true importance of what you are gathering." Yes, God, thank you. That last line, consider the true importance of what you are gathering. Part of life is needing to discern what things are truly patterns of behavior that we need to adopt for the course of this lifetime, and what things are patterns of behavior that are designed to help us get through a stage. And from there, we make adjustments and we ask God, please let us see what patterns of behavior, even those corrective patterns, those patterns of self-preservation, those patterns that I needed to stay alive, to survive, which patterns are now ready to leave my life. And see yourself in this amazing walk-in closet where you have all these tools and strategies and patterns of behavior that you can call out to help you. And see yourself putting these ones back on the shelf. Okay? And ask God while you're there, what are some beliefs and patterns that I now need to incorporate? And know that you have a storehouse of everything you could ever need. Your main job is to learn to discern. It's time, my friends, to wash our feet, wash our bodies, take that spiritual bath, and let go. Even if you're just taking a shower, ask God for that to be your spiritual bath. Even if you can't, see yourself instead being showered by the light, and let go of all that is ready to be let go, knowing that you could not let go of something that is for your benefit. So you can't get it wrong. You're just releasing and you're clearing and you're stepping up into something better. Okay? I heard earlier dream cycles coming to an end. So I got a little nervous because I was thinking, oh my gosh, does that mean that, and then we have the dreamer card here. Does that mean that, and because it was followed by a big opportunity wasted. So I'm wondering how many of us, myself included, have spent so much time being occupied by something that we have missed an opportunity for manifestation. We've missed an opportunity to dream because we couldn't dream. We're so caught up in these fears. And so for that moment, I ask God for us to help, for him and her, or her, for our guides, for our higher selves to help us to claim and salvage what can still be salvaged. Based on whatever time frame they have for us, what can we still do to rise up? Here we are saying we are going to take corrective action. What should we do? Because we don't want to miss opportunities because of the pain. We don't want to miss opportunities because we couldn't see that we were in pain. We don't want to miss opportunities because there are things that we couldn't see in general. And Spirit is saying for us to take a moment now so they can soothe our hearts. So let's take a moment, maybe 2 minutes. Oh, they're saying 3 minutes to let this energy come through us and bathe us and right through the heart chakra. Okay? We release and we receive. We release and we receive. We apologize for whatever has been left unsaid. And we receive apologies from those who have left things unsaid. We reconcile now. Thank you, God, for helping us to reconcile. We reconcile with those in jail who we can't reach. We reconcile with those who, through our attempts at fortitude and strength, we have disconnected from, released. We release that sound. We thank God that we are never lost. We thank God that we are never lost. We thank God that he or she or it or benefactors come in and they even see us in our need for course correction. They come in and they help us. And they put us back on the course because they see our stomachs, they see our linings, they see everything. They see every single part. And they bring healing to those parts now. We receive physical healing. They see us where we have planted our feet and refused to move out of fear, out of righteousness, out of reaction. And they bring us back into awareness that we are one. Okay, so those were the 3 minutes given to us by God. And we know that all minutes are given to us by God. And any minute that you guys will ever spend with me, amen, will always be an informative minute. It's only designed to inform and to connect. But you know that the real work and the real meditation and the real connections and all of those things can very well be outside of this. This is just a moment to say, hey, let's try this. And so we try it. And Spirit connects with us here. And we are gathered for healing. They're saying with this gathering card that it is important to gather because human beings are made to gather. What does that even mean? It means that we're made to collect with each other. We're made to connect with each other through our pain. And we also need to learn to discern when that gathering, when the voices that are gathering there are giving their pain because they want to be heard. And then to know when those stories that are being shared are also to be learned from. Okay? So as you look at your YouTube videos, as you listen to your coworkers, as you listen to your best friends and sisters and brothers, and you listen to their pain, share with their pain in the sense that you can find connection through that gathering and soothing as we see these two soothing each other. But also know when it is time for you to disconnect from the stories of another, and to know that you, and so do they, have a chance to direct yourselves through God. And God works through other people as well, so that's why we gather. When you read those other comments, they hold value for you. A lot of times the message comes through that other person. And so we respect the gathering. We respect the space, the sacred spaces that are created for us to share. Now, let's take a look at these two cards here. I'm seeing here this Devil card and this Lover's card, or excuse me, this Two of Cups card. What I'm seeing is reconciliation following a period or following a stage with someone or something. For some of you, this is marriage. Of course, I'm seeing third parties here. Excuse me. But I'm also seeing behavioral patterns. I'm seeing drug use here as well. Somebody has been abusing drugs, and I'm seeing that there may have been separation on account of this. There are people out there still in this mode of devil energy, in this mode of fear, lockdown, being afraid to talk about their feelings, afraid of vulnerability, stealing. I'm seeing someone who has a problem stealing. I'm seeing these people, some of them have a long way to go with their healings. I'm seeing stone and petrification. I'm seeing that their eyes are moving, but they're petrified to a certain degree. Petrified in the sense of they are stuck in their ways. They're stoned. But also petrified in the realization, we realize that their petrification comes from fear. They're petrified by the fear of what comes from forward movement. Sometimes it's the fear of success, it's the fear of what's next, it's the fear of the unknown that keeps us trapped. And I see that for some of them, that's what's keeping them trapped. I'm seeing that for some of them, familiarity is their lifeline. Familiarity, some of them grew up in some terrible conditions. Even if they came from a family that we would say, you've had everything. There have been things that they've been denied, very basic things, structure, love, empathy, modeling of good behavior. Those were the things that they are familiar with. They grew up with that, and so they stick to that, adhere to it, because it's their lifeline. I'm hearing some of you burning them, saying, well, I had the same thing and I grew out of it. You grow out of it. And so I feel for some of you, you have created calluses against your pain. And that's something, excuse me, Spirit is saying, yes, that's true. And I'm feeling some of you acknowledging that. That is something, excuse me, for you to work towards as well. See yourselves as stuck in your own patterns and them as being stuck in theirs. It's easy for us to see others and to point fingers, but it's hard for us to see our own places where we need to improve. And that is part of today's message. When God tells us that there are patterns of behavior that you would characterize as being life-saving, as being good, as being admirable, that have only served to keep you stuck, even if it's only keeping you stuck in a behavioral pattern of superiority. So be careful, some of you, with that. I'm hearing being stuck in avarice. But I'm hearing, yes, of course, these people may be stuck in this avarice, but feelings of avarice. But I'm also feeling that some of you on this call may be in a pattern of avarice as well. In what sense? It differs. It really differs. Okay. So for those of you who are wondering, avarice, I know that word. What does it mean exactly? It's greed. It's greed. Okay, so how does avarice apply to you? All right, so anyway, I want to point out that this person acknowledges you. Some of them admire you. Some of them are afraid of you. They're afraid of the judgment, because when they look in your eyes, they not only see your judgment, but they see their own judgment of themselves. And I see them, as they see that double judgment, they shut down and go into this mode. See this person with the chain over their mouth? That's the lifeline. That's the life-saving, that's the familiarity that they're going to. They dig their heels down into this behavioral pattern because it's what they know. It's their safety zone. So whenever you approach them with that kind of judgment, it it triggers their own judgment, and it's too much for this person. They shrink back, they stay away, they clam up, they use more. And I'm not blaming you or anyone for their drug use. That's between them and God. But we do things that trigger behaviors in others, just as they do things that trigger behaviors in us. So today's message is also about seeing that there's practical reasons. There are practical reasons why we need to monitor our behavior and to look at, thank you, Spirit's acknowledging, monitor our behavior and look at the behaviors that we are considering to be the good stuff, because we need to make adjustments. Everybody on earth, myself included, I'm going through a really bad breakup, okay? Everybody on earth is going through their own pain, and when we interact with each other, we're interacting with each other's pain. We're stepping into each other's ego without even knowing it. And so we have to have compassion. We have to respect the cycles of life, because these cycles are all about teaching. As I see universe here, I'm seeing university. We're expanding, but we have to dream. Anything that anything that stands in the way of our ability to dream of a better future for ourselves and to feel deserving of it, we must address and we must release. These are shadows. And they're not just other people. They're us and things that dwell within us that even brought these other people into our existence. In our charts, our sacred charts, we have infinite possibilities. We have created, thank you, Spirit, we have created so many options. The question is not, will I have a lover? Yes, if that's in your chart, you will have a lover. The question is, what kind of lover would you like to attract, for example? I've heard this analogy before and I love it. Do you want the toilet lover? The toilet lover. Hold on. Do you want, we all love, right? Do you want the toilet water lover? The lover that treats you badly, puts you through your paces, teaches you lessons, yes. But if you haven't learned those lessons and you're still carrying around certain beliefs and behavioral patterns, you're going to attract the toilet water lover. Listen, we all have. Some of us still are. Do you want a step up? Would you like the eau de toilette lover? That's the lover who's better than this toilet lover. Toilet lover. Toilet water lover. Jeez, forgive me. We all need and love a toilet, okay? but I mean, a step up. Do we want the eau de toilette lover? The one who gives us, they're better, but it's not perfect. Of course, things that could be better. We're still feeling unfulfilled. Or do we want the parfum lover? Do we want the one who is like perfume? That's the one that comes to us when we have learned lessons. So the question is not whether or not you'll get a lover, for example. The question is not whether or not you'll get a job. The question is not whether you'll have friends and opportunities. The question is which kind. Oh, some of us block. Okay, let me approach that for a second. Some of us are so deep in our shadows that we block those things altogether. And so the question is, how long will you keep blocking yourself from even attracting this, right? But some of us actually are attracting these. They're coming in. But the question is, what kind of quality would you like to have? And I ask you a question, because you're the one who could direct that. What are your shadows? Are you familiar with your shadows? How are you working with them? And as we see in today's message, sometimes our shadows are the very strengths that we hold dear to us. So we have to really look deeply and thoroughly to understand our shadows. Shadow work is very important. So you can speak with your guides about that. And when we work through shadows, when we actively remove those blockages from our path, we get closer towards dreaming and bringing up the best dreams that we can. So any part of good manifestation work is about shadow. Why is it important to look at shadows? Because, for example, we have many friends who are like, they're trying to establish themselves. They're trying to get a man. Let's use that example. We see them dolling up. Yeah, I'm dating. I'm on Tinder. I'm on whatever their thing is. I'm asking friends. I'm dressing up. I'm making my bed for two. I'm leaving space in my closet. I'm doing everything. I'm praying. I'm doing affirmations. But I keep getting these losers. What's up with that? That's because they're going through all of the wonderful stages of manifestation. However, what's fighting them is their shadow. If they look at themselves and they really look at themselves and look at their behavioral patterns, work with their angels, go in, they'll realize that they have belief patterns, for example, like these. I hate men. I don't trust men. Men are dogs. They'll lie. I'm not comfortable being vulnerable with anybody. I need to be strong because if I weren't strong, someone would hurt me. Things like that. Men are not as good as women. They don't deserve us. They don't know how to treat us. If I ever get a man, I'm going to be the one in control. Like, these are feelings. These are belief patterns that are deeply embedded. Let's head back over here. Shadow work. These are belief patterns that are deeply embedded within us that actively stop us from attracting those perfume-related experiences. And that's why they say sometimes God doesn't give us the perfect person for us, because we would completely obliterate that person. We wouldn't believe them. We wouldn't have the capacity to see their value, you know? And, yeah, so anyway, we have to think about that. But Spirit is coming through and saying that progress is being made every single day, if even through the process of gathering experience. At some point, all that experience is going to get so heavy that it's going to create breakthrough. But for those of you on the call at this time, go forth now and start to work on yourselves. Check your shadows. Ask yourself about yourself. Ask God about yourself. Get readings. Journal. May I suggest a wonderful book that I love? And every time I do this book's exercise, I always connect with past lifetimes, and then I can see how they repeat their patterns in this lifetime. Okay, now the book is called Radical Forgiveness. I'm forgetting the name of the person, but he's amazing. Radical Forgiveness. And you can find the Radical Forgiveness PDF online for free. Just make sure you have the most latest version of it. You can check the copyright or the production date at the bottom of the PDF form. It shouldn't say 2002, for example. It might not say 2019, it may be like 2017, 16, 18. But check that out, Radical Forgiveness, and do the worksheets. May I also suggest tapping or EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. If you're interested in that, that really gets me through those moments when I am just stuck in a traumatic, like, spiraling of thoughts, and I'm in emotional turmoil, and I tap on that. Oh my God, it releases it, and it's like I can breathe again. It's like, okay, I was just about to call this guy up and curse him out, and I just did this tapping, and now I'm relaxed. I don't feel the need to call anybody. It's the dark cloud has passed. That's accumulation of stress energy building up. EFT or tapping, please look for The Tapping Solution. That's the name of the book. The Tapping Solution by Nick Ortner, Ortner. Great stuff. You can find him on hayhouse.com, but you can also check YouTube. YouTube has little talks by him. He shows you how to tap. His sister does tapping as well. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name. Melissa, Lisa, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you can find her when you find him. Is there one more? Anyway, I have so many tools, guys, but we'll stop with those. All right, so that's today's daily reading, and it's been my pleasure to bring it to you. And I want to thank my hands for helping me, God bless. And I also want to thank my pain for giving birth to this. So I guess I want to thank my ex and other parties involved. Progress. Yes. And I want to thank our angels and guides, and I want to thank all of you. Amen. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you. Mwah.